In order to grow cannas, it's not too difficult. Collect your seeds, take them out of the pods off the plant. Here I've got a container full of seeds. Then there's a few different ways you can go from there. Have a pair of needle nose pliers. That way you can pinch your seeds. And then you can take them and rub them on the sandpaper, preferably with the needle nose pliers, so you don't take off your fingertips. And after you run it across the sandpaper a few times, you'll end up with your black seed having a little white spot. And that's your goal right at this point, is to get the black shell to break up. It will do it if you just plant it in the ground, but it could be 5 or 10 years before it's able to break through the shell. Another way of doing it is with a pair of toenail clippers. Some people find this method to be pretty good. And you hold on to the seed though, hold good, because remember that they are round and hard, and when they fly, such as in my house, I have a wooden floor, they travel quite a distance before they stop. And then you have to try to find them, which is pretty difficult. If you have carpet, they fly, they land in your carpet. If it's a shag, they could be pretty much history until you vacuum. But using your toenail clippers, again, your goal is to break the crust and end up with a white spot for germination. So I take them, and after I do them, I put them in a bottle. As you can see, I've got quite a few of them done today. A third method, instead of using the sandpaper or the toenail clippers, which is a lot easier, what I found is take your seed, take your needle nose pliers. Kind of hard to show you this, being I need one hand for the camera. But you'll take your seed, pinch it in your needle nose pliers, and I have a variable speed Dremel. I've put a grinding disc on the end, and I'll turn the Dremel on and bump the seed against the disc with it in the needle nose pliers, so I don't take off my fingertips and end up with a nice white spot. So here's a seed in the needle nose pliers. Alright, leave part of the seed sticking out. So you can take it now and rub it on your sandpaper. Use the toenail clipper and try to cut a little groove out with the toenail clipper, chip off a little of the black, or like I do, and use a Dremel and grind some of it off. As you can see, got a few done. But that's basically how you want to have them inside your clippers. Again, you need these white spots for the germination period. At this point, you collect your seeds, then you'll take them and you'll put them in water for 48 to 72 hours. That way they start to germinate. If you go an extra 24 hours past the 72, that's not a big deal. Just at that point, you pull them out and you plant them in some dirt. I'll show you what the seeds look like in germination in a couple days. Alrighty. Okay, so you take your can of seeds, and as you see, I have a few here, throwing them in a little jar. Put some water in there and throw it up in a window or someplace for the next few days. Alright. Okay. Well, it's been a couple days. Here's a couple of the seeds from the water. Don't know how well you can see. The white spot has started to germinate. It is starting to protrude. So I believe you can see it on that seed right there. Starting to protrude out of the seed. So at this point they are ready to plant. So you'll drain your water and get them in dirt. Oops, excuse the coffee cups. Didn't mean to show you my sink. Alrighty. So there's the seeds that have been germinated. Alright, well, we filled this container with dirt in all its little tray spaces. I don't know how many there are in it. There's a bunch. And we're going to pop probably 2 seeds into each of the containers from the jar where they germinated. When they sprout, then we'll pull them from there and we'll transplant them into a used ice cream container that we use for the next step. We transplant the seed into this and then transplant it once into the ice cream container. From the ice cream container, it goes into the ground. That's the steps of that we do for the transplant. Alrighty. There's some cannas that have been transplanted using an old dryer's ice cream container. Perfect for planting in. You can poke holes about 1 inch up in them so they'll retain a little water. Work as a biodegradable planter, and then you can just plant them in the ground. They help keep the cannas. Cannas like to be kind of root bounded, crowded. Works perfect. This is the final transplant on them before they go into the ground. Good luck growing your own. Here's a canna that we have planted into the ground. We've transplanted in, and this will be its permanent home underneath this tree, along with this other green growth that you can see. And luckily, look at it, it's already flowering. Awesome. That means we'll get a long flower season out of this canna this year, as this is just May, about the middle of May, so we should have flowers on that for the next few months as it gets bigger. It'll probably get to be about 3-4 feet tall this year. Alright, hope that you had the same luck with yours.